Remember those creepy chain emails from the early mid-2000s? I got one this morning. If you're too young or too old to know what I'm talking about, let me explain. These were viral messages that circulated via email or social media, often with a subject line like, "Keep reading, do not ignore." The body usually contained a short horror story designed to spook the reader into forwarding it. The typical formula? A gruesome event, like a schoolgirl being pushed down a well, and a threat. If you don't share it with X people, some supernatural entity would come for you. It's the kind of thing that thrived on fear, nostalgia, and the thrill of urban legends. The first time I encountered one was in middle school, not via email, but through a Facebook post that popped up in my feed. I don't remember the exact story, but it terrified me enough to forward it, only for my friends to mock me later. The irony? No demon girl ever crawled out of my toilet. So maybe I did the right thing after all. Back then, these scare mails were dumb, juvenile, and poorly written, but they worked on 13-year-olds like me. They were a kind of harmless fun, a way to play along with the drama, even if we knew it was fake. Now, I'd call them relics of internet culture's early days. Still, there's something oddly nostalgic about them. They were part of that era when the internet felt like a weird, uncharted frontier, and every strange message had the potential to be real. This morning, though, I got one that felt different. I was sitting at my desk, sipping coffee and watching YouTube before work, my routine. After checking my emails, wedding invites, university newsletters, my boss's usual complaints, I saw a new message from an unknown sender. The subject line, "Sorry," weird, concerning, probably spam or malware. I rarely respond to unsolicited emails, but something about it piqued my curiosity. Life had been so monotonous lately, maybe this would be a welcome distraction. The email was short, just a few sentences. Here's what it said. One night, a woman was hit by a speeding car at night. The driver was intoxicated and did not call the police. Instead, he dragged her bleeding body down into the sewers and left her there to die. They found her body 2 days later and brought it into the morgue, where they cleaned her up and tucked her away. But when they went to take her out 2 weeks later, she was missing, her empty body bag filled with stinking sewage. If you do not forward this to 5 others by midnight, she will be in your room tonight. She will seek vengeance. This is not a joke. You know what you did. I laughed out loud when I read it. It was a blast from the past, except this version felt more intense than the ones I'd seen as a kid. Maybe the internet's gone darker over the years, or maybe these things just evolved to be creepier. Still, I wasn't sure if it was serious or a joke. But since the sender had included an attachment named Her, I figured it would be some AI-generated image of a demon woman, a cheap scare tactic. I opened the file anyway. It was a PNG labeled Her. Inside? Just a plain black image. No details, no horror. A letdown. I dismissed it as a prank and moved on. But later that day, after work and a stressful boxing class, I found myself lying on my couch, sipping sangria while messaging Elisa, a girl I'd matched with on Hinge. I mentioned the email, just to see her reaction. She was around my age, so I figured she'd get it. She did. "That's terrifying," she said. Then she asked me to forward it to her. Curious, I did. After sending the email, I put my phone down and went to take a shower. When I checked it again, she'd messaged back. "Holy shit, that's terrifying." I replied with something like, "I know, I'm shitting bricks just thinking about it," but she didn't laugh. "Look at the image again, and turn your brightness all the way up. Look closely." That wasn't what I wanted to hear before bed. But I did as she said. I opened the email, re-downloaded the file, and turned off the lights in my room. I cranked my phone's brightness to maximum and stared at the screen. It took some squinting, but I saw it. A set of floating teeth, barely visible against the black. A crescent shape suggested a smile. 2 eyes hovered above, unnaturally wide, as if pried open by invisible hands. My stomach dropped. The details didn't add up. Was this a joke? A prank? But the image was unnervingly real. I turned on the lights and felt that hollow, disoriented feeling you get when something's wrong but you can't quite explain why. Elisa sent another message. I used Lightroom to lift the exposure. It's still dark, but now you can see more. I opened her email, dreading what I'd find. The image was still mostly black, but enough details emerged to make it clear. This wasn't a mannequin or an AI-generated horror. It was something that looked human, but felt wrong. The face had the same paper-white skin, but the expression was too intense. A smile stretched across the jawline, yet the teeth pressed tightly together. The nostrils flared like shotgun barrels, and the eyes, owl-like, wide and painful, seemed to mock me. I tried a reverse image search. Nothing came up. No forum, no artist, no explanation. Just an image that felt too real to be fake, yet too poorly made to be serious. Whoever created this was good. They tapped into something primal, something I couldn't shake. That's when the knock came at my door. It was just after midnight. I checked the peephole and saw a police officer standing there. What? I opened the door. She said nothing, just gestured for me to step outside. Her face was serious, her voice barely above a whisper. Come out now. I followed her into the hallway. She asked if I lived alone. I said yes. Then she introduced herself as Officer Viana and explained that she'd been called about a noise complaint from my neighbor, Sam, a rich college kid who played loud music. After warning him to turn it down, she noticed something strange. My bedroom window was open, and the blinds were partially raised. From the parking lot, she could see the outline of a figure standing by my door, motionless, as if waiting for someone to enter. It didn't look like a doll or mannequin, she said, her hand on her weapon. It felt dangerous. I remembered leaving the window open and the blinds slightly raised, a bad habit. But breaking through the mesh screen would have made noise I'd have heard. Sam's music wasn't loud enough to mask it. Still, I hadn't seen anything when I went to take a shower an hour earlier. What if I just hadn't looked? I asked her what I should do. She told me to wait while she called for backup. You probably don't want to see it, she added. For your own sake, I wouldn't recommend it. Skepticism was my only defense now. But as the minutes dragged on, and the cop's words echoed in my mind, doubt crept in. What if this wasn't a prank? What if the email had been more than just a joke? I'm still waiting in the lobby, cold and uneasy. I haven't told them about the email yet, because what if it was connected? But now I don't know. I really don't, and I'm not sure what to expect from here. If anything else happens, I'll update. Sleep well tonight, if you can. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a nightmare.